MTO reviews.
If you're looking for the best reviews on wrestling, the MTO reviews are your people.
The MTO reviews.
A black man won the world title, a black man was removed from power and replaced by a white man, a MILF returns, and Samuel Shaw was cured by the power of friendship. A lot of things have gone down since we last left off, and that's always a good thing. When shows are so jam-packed that you can't go 1 month without watching. Keeps things interesting. So let's get into everything. While I didn't mind the whole MVP power trip thing, it did get to a point where I realized that the roster didn't have enough depth to keep a takeover storyline like that going on for too long before it starts to drag down the whole show. If anything, the fact that Lashley doesn't need someone to carry him to win every match, the way that Angelina needs Velvet to win every match, makes him look that much more credible. And that's one of the things that I've always liked about Lashley, is that throughout his entire career, he's never been booked like a pussy heel. He's always been a badass. Well, except whenever you put a mic in his hands and you realize that Taryn Terrell has a more intimidating voice than he does.
I don't know, ever since he got injured, obviously it was going to lose steam, but it seems like TNA was just like, you know what, we quit. We quit with this. We're not even going to try and salvage it. We're just pulling the plug on it, which is weird because they could have gone a lot of ways with this, especially now that Lashley won the championship. One good thing does come out of the championship change, and that is that as much as we like EY, we liked EY as champion, the matches that he was having just didn't feel main event worthy, or they didn't feel like a real main event caliber match. Whereas with Lashley, thinking about Bobby Roode versus Lashley, that sounds like a main event caliber match. Putting the championship on Lashley is a smart move because now there's like a million storyline possibilities. Now that MVP has gotten under the skin of a lot of people in like 3 weeks, which is amazing. I think MVP turned heel like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he already has gripes with like 90% of the roster.
So this week's episode was another one of those free pay-per-views filled with all those gimmick matches and title bouts that we love. And I didn't even have to watch Slammiversary to know that this show was better than Slammiversary, which it should be, because really, pay-per-views aren't going to get TNA any ratings, so they shouldn't even have to worry about making their pay-per-views as good as they make their episodes of Impact.
Overall, I thought the show was a good show. I did enjoy it. I was entertained by it. I just hope for the next few weeks that they include a lot more feuds and start new ones, because the ones you guys have running right now don't really intrigue me that much. I mean, yeah, the Gunner and Samuel Shaw feud is intriguing, but at the same time, it's not really progressing all that much. It seems like they're friends now, but, I mean, how much longer can they be friends before Samuel Shaw snaps?
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about this storyline, is that it's been going on since last year, and yet they've still managed to keep it interesting throughout the whole thing, to where even though you know where it's going, you're still interested in seeing how it plays out. Hopefully it leads to Christy Hemi's heel turn along with a live sex celebration. That'd be awesome.
One feud that did get put in the back burner in favor of Fail Kim's awful promo was the whole Brittany and Madison Rayne storyline. Did TNA know what they were doing when they fully revealed Brittany as a lesbian? Despite the fact that that was your biggest knockout storyline before Slammiversary, tells me that you guys wanted to pull the trigger, but you didn't have a whole plan set out afterward.
Yeah, they did rush Brittany James' face turn against the bitchy heel Madison Rayne rather quickly, and that's exactly what I didn't want them to do, because now they just missed out on a bunch of great lesbian scenes that we could have gotten before we got to this point. But then again, that's to be expected of TNA every time they rip off a storyline from the WWE. Instead of trying to give us a better version of that storyline, we get a rushed version that's missing everything that made the original so fun. I mean, at this point, all I want is for Brittany James to move on and feud with someone more interesting than Madison Rayne. And the sad thing is, she can't, because Fail Kim is hoarding Taryn Terrell, and she can't feud with the beautiful people anymore, unfortunately.
Get Brittany involved in another lesbian angle, because with Madison Rayne, it just doesn't work. Why, you might ask? Because you're trying to portray, MTO pretty much hit it on the head. You're trying to portray Madison Rayne as the babyface, despite the fact that she's been nothing but a complete bitch. One thing that I would really love to see is Brittany do something like what Kenzo Suzuki did in 2004 and look at the television screen and just say, nice breasts, whenever Taryn Terrell is on television. Well, not only would that be a better storyline, it's more believable, it adds a breath of fresh air, and it keeps Taryn Terrell the hell away from Fail Kim.
That would be pretty awesome, but one of the big things to happen this week was Angelina Love was stripped of the knockout title, meaning that the championship has been vacated. There is no knockout champion, and that is unfortunate because the beautiful people have been the best thing to happen to the knockout division ever since Fail Kim came back and killed the division. And people will say, oh, but they're doing the same stuff that they always did. No, derp. See, there's a thing called character consistency. Every character has certain traits that carry with them through their career because it's what the fans know and love them for. This includes things like entrances, catchphrases, signature moves, etc. You can't strip a character of those traits or completely change them around because then they're not the same character that the fans liked in the first place. I mean, look at this. TNA recently brought back Devon Dudley and Fat Hardy, but we've already seen everything that the Dudleys and the Hardys can do together, so by that logic, should Fat Hardy dress up as the Hamburglar and team up with Willow just because, hey, it's something new? Should Team 3D stop putting people through tables just because, well, we've already seen them do that before? No! The same things that they did 15 years ago are the same things that get them pops today because it's what fans love about their characters. And I find it funny how the same people calling the beautiful people stale for stuff that they haven't done in 5 years are the same ones defending Fail Kim for doing the same stale crap for 5 years straight just because, oh, she's a great wrestler. So they have the nerve to try to talk about stale characters, yet they're defending someone who has no character and has been nothing but stale both outside and inside the ring. Because come to think of it, has Fail Kim even had any memorable matches aside from Taryn Terrell and Awesome Kong? The whole reason the internet is obsessed with Fail Kim is because she's supposedly this great wrestler. Yet, if she was so great, why is it that she's only had 2 good matches in her entire career and hundreds of forgettable ones that never make it past decent? You want to talk about stale? Look no further than Fail Kim, who brings nothing to the table other than her supposed great wrestling skills, yet in the past 3 years, she's only had 1 match that's ever made it past average. But anyway, back to my original point. It's not the beautiful people's fault that they're being restricted by the lack of competition in the division. It's Fail Kim's fault for putting the division in that state to begin with, but they've been doing the best with the little they have to work with. And there was more potential in Angelina as champion because the beautiful people can actually create a storyline because they actually have characters. Yeah, everyone's jizzing about the next Fail Kim versus Taryn Terrell match. Well, the problem with that is you have to wait 3 months before that match happens. The other problem is, we know Fail Kim is as stale as it comes when it comes to trying to be a personality on TV, and as seen a couple weeks ago, Taryn Terrell's mic skills are worse than Helen Keller's, and since they're both face, they can't do anything other than cut horrible cheesy promos about how much they respect each other. So pretty much the only way they can keep this feud going is if it involves the beautiful people to carry the feud, because Fail Kim and Taryn Terrell aren't capable of carrying the feud themselves. This is exactly why Angelina should not have lost the championship. At least not this early. But I've ranted long enough for one video. Anyway, Omar is contemplating on quitting on TNA after Angelina was stripped of the championship. He's in a corner somewhere crying right now, so guess I better go console him before he and Hero.